Don't you worry, child. Yeah. Oh, we are recording. I'm sorry. Let me turn that off. Hey, kids, how you doing? It's Mr. Kent here, and I'm going to teach you today the least common multiple, otherwise known as LCM. What does it mean? Well, the least common multiple is the smallest non-zero number that is a multiple of two or more numbers. What? That's the same thing I said when I heard that. Come on, let's try to figure this out. We need to understand some definitions first before we understand this. All right. First of all, what does least mean? Well, least means smallest. So, for example, what would be the smallest number out of 2, 4, and 6? That's right, 2, smallest number. That's what least means. How about common? Common is the similarity between two or more things. So you have to have two things to be able to compare. Like, what's in common between you and your parents? Maybe your hair color, maybe your eye color. So, I think of the word common as same. What is the same between two or more things? Multiple. This is the word that really gets kids in trouble. Multiple. It is the number that you get when you multiply one number by another number. It's as simple as that. If you've worked with multiplication, you understand what multiples are. We just haven't really worked with this word yet. So, I think of the word multiply. Now, let's break it down. Coming back here, going back there. All right, least common multiple, we're focusing on multiple again. Think of your times tables. Okay, I have these numbers right out here, and if I multiply them, I'm getting numbers. Well, if you look back to your notes, if you took your notes, these are all multiples of these numbers because we took two numbers to multiply and we came out with these. So these are all multiples. But that's not how we usually write numbers these days. That's just usually on a multiplication table. So if I wanted to know what the multiples of 2 are, you just simply write them down because you may have them in your head. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and on, as high as you need to go depending on the assignment or what you're asked for. And as you can see, if I had an imaginary 1 above it, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So I take the original number, I start with that, and I write the multiples of it. Okay, how about multiples of 3? Well, starting with the number 3, and in my mind, I'm multiplying by the number starting with 1. 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3, 9. 12, 15, 18, 21. And those are my multiples of 3. As you can see, basically multiplication is a function of adding, because what you're really doing is you're adding the original number to each part. So I'm just adding 3 to the number behind it. Just stick with multiply. All right, what are the multiples of 5? Well, the multiples of 5, starting with the number 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You're just basically counting by the number that it's telling you to find multiples of. You have to know your multiplication tables. That's all there is to it. All right, let's go on to practicing. Find the least, oh man, you know what I wanted to show you on this? I wanted to show you, let's go ahead and break down, since we got the multiples now, what's the common multiples? We can find the common multiples for all of these. All right, common, remember, it means the same. So I'm looking for the number in here that's the same in all of the groups. Not just 2 of them, but all of them. Okay? So I'm looking for 2's in here. I have no 2's in there. There's nothing in common. 4, no. 6, I have a 6 here, and I have a 6 here. But guess what? I do not have a 6 here. So I don't circle it or mark it if I wanted to find them out. So I keep going. 8, no, 10. I have a 10 here and a 10 here, but I don't have a 10 here. Not common. Let's see. 12. No. 14. No. Boy, I don't think I'm going to find anything in common here amongst all three. Now, if I took these out and I was just looking for the common multiples of 2 and 3, I would have this one and this one and the 12. This is about as high as I would go. If I didn't have 5, those would be my common multiples. Now, if I wanted to find the least common multiple, let's erase this so you don't get confused. The least common multiple, what's the smallest one out of the ones I have circled? That's right, 6. So my least common multiple for 2 and 3 is the number 6. All right, that's going to come in handy down the road. But let's get some practice first. I want to help you with this. Find the least common multiple for 10 and 15. This is how you would see maybe a question on a test. So, we're going to start off with the first number. I'm going to start it with 10, and I'm just going to count by 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 10s are easy, I like it. 15, ooh, a little bit more difficult. I got to think in my head, starting with 15, 15 times 1 is 15. What's 15 times 2? Well, if I take 15 plus 15, that gives me 30. And if I take 30 plus another 15 is 45. And if I took another 15, that'd be 60. All right, well, let's stop there for now. Now what I'm going to do is find the common multiples. I'm looking here, I see 30 in both, I like it. And I also see 60 in both. And those are the common multiples. But what is the least common, meaning the smallest? Out of the 4 numbers I have underlined, 30 is the smallest number that we find in both numbers. So, the least common multiple for 10 and 15 is 30. Okay, let's do the next one. Find the least common multiple for 5, 10, and 12. Woohoo! 3 numbers now. We're going to start with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I don't know how high I need to go, so I'm going to stop there for now. 10. We're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'll stop there for now. 12. 12. Ooh, a little bit more difficult. So if I can't remember my multiplication tables, I'm just going to have to add 12 to each number behind it. So 12 plus 12 is 24. 12 plus 24 is 36. 36 plus 12 is 48. 48 plus 12 is 60. 72. 84. All right, let's stop there. Let's see if we can find a least common multiple. Well, I have 10 here and 10 here, but I do not have a 10 here, so it's not common. Let me see, I have a 30 here and a 30 here, but I do not have a 30 here. Oh, I also have a 20. But I don't have any of those numbers in here, so I have to be very careful. So what that means is I'm going to look a little harder, and I'm going to see that my closest number that ends in a 0 is 60. Because I'm working with multiples of 5 and 10, and I know those will end in 60 as well. So 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I like that. 60. Well, look at that. I have a 60 in all of them. That is my least common multiple for these 3 numbers. So my least common multiple for 5, 10, and 12 is 60. So the number can be way down here, and you're just going to have to write out all of your multiplication tables for those numbers, or the multiples for those numbers. Okay, now you try it. This is a pause and play section. What I want you to do is when I say hit pause, I want you to write these out first. Find the least common multiple for 10, 20, and 30. And then find the least common multiple for 3. I'm sorry, this is 35. 35 and 7. Okay? Go ahead and hit pause, work them out, and come back to me. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you figured these out. I'm going to help you out a little bit. We're going to write the multiples for 10, 20, and 30. So let's go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 20 is 20. Going by 20s now. 40, 60, 80. And let's do 30s. 30, 60, 90. I haven't really found it yet, but if I would have put one more 10 up here on my 10s, I think I would have found my least common multiple. 10s, 20s, 30, 40's not here, 60. 60 is the least common multiple. Okay? Now, let's do 35 and 7. 35 is a big number. 7 I can work with, but let's try it out. 35. What's 35 times 2 or 35 plus 35? If I needed to do it over here, I would do that. I would find that 35 plus 35 is 70. Something about 7 I'm familiar with. 14, 21. See, I like American football, so I can do the 7s pretty well. 28, 35. Oh, that's interesting. The first number is the first number in common with 7, and it's actually my least common multiple. So 35 is actually the least common multiple for 35 and 7. I hope you figured that out. We'll work on it in class the next day. Hope you guys have a great evening. Hasta luego.